What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another day in Car Mechanic Simulator with me, the Virtual Mechanic, and today's project, the Atom 330. This is my variant, the VM Slammed. It has done 55,000 miles, and I did get it from the auction house. It is looking pretty sorry for itself. It's got a few things to it. Obviously, it's got these little bits that poke up through here, which I'm not overly happy about, but I couldn't resolve them to get the height I wanted on the car. I have left the engine cover off of this, so the engine will always be visible. Because of the lowering of the car, it did poke through, so I kept it like that just to keep it looking better. And I have also included 2 more rows of batteries under here and 2 more batteries in the front there, which don't do anything to give it more power, but when you start fitting them as performance parts, 2% each, I believe it is, for a battery. So that's going to be quite a bit of extra power from this. This is going to be my variant of the Model S Plaid edition, because I'm going to hopefully make this one insanely quick with a lot of power, and hopefully make it look pretty cool too. So let's get it started. Let's get over to the car wash. Let's get this one cleaned up. Here we are then at the car wash. Let's get the body cleaned. Let's see what color we've got. Pretty dark. Maybe a black or a dark blue. Black. Oh, a sort of grey. Quite a nice grey though. I'll give it that. Looking pretty tasty. Let's get the interior done. Then we'll get it back on the lift and we'll get that electric engine ripped out. Ready to start stripping everything down for all brand new or refurbished parts. I'll see you in a moment. So, no oil in this engine or whatsoever. Can't even bring the oil pan over if I wanted to. And I do have to get these rear wheels off to remove this engine. So I'm going to get started with this. There's the other side out. That should be everything ready for this engine. But while I'm here, I am going to start removing all of these batteries. So I'm just going to get through this and I'll join you back just when I've got them all out. So to get this engine out, there are a few things you need to do. You need to get this gearbox out. And to do that, you need to get this off, and this off, which can only be done from the engine bay. So let's bring the car back to the ground, and I'm going to rip them bits out, and then hopefully get this engine lifted out nice and simply. Let's see. Nice and simple for that piece. 2 screws for that piece. And nice 3 screws for the cooling hose. And then I need to go back up in the air to get that gearbox out. Grab the gearbox. Only 4 screws in that one. Nice and simple. And then, hopefully, back on the ground. And then time for that engine out. Car is back on the ground. Let's give this engine a go. Nice. That's better. Get that engine out of there. Nice and simple. Now, I'm going to start stripping the body next, I believe. Start with the taillights. I don't think I've actually got much on this. So I'm just going to crack on. And I'll meet you guys back here in a moment. Pretty confident that's all the body panels out. Let's start with this engine bay. Got a few bits to get out from here. Double fans, double radiators. Thank you for missing that, which I don't think I did. Oh no. Oh no, I failed. I didn't drain all the liquids. So let's get on and let's drain the rest of these liquids quickly. Pretty confident that's all of them. Nice and simple. Now let's carry on getting the rest of this stuff out. Hopefully no more liquid drains. Nice and simple. Got to get that battery on charge before we build the engine. And I've also got to get this fuse box stripped. So last few bits to come off here. I'm going to get on and get that fuse box done. And then we're going to get underneath and get all that suspension cleared. So I'll see you under there in a moment. Just putting that battery on charge before I forget. Before we jump in and get all of this suspension stripped out of the Atom 330. Double wishbone, no central piece there. It's still got the steering rack, though, at the front. And it is exactly the same at the back. I'm not even going to go down there and have a look, except it doesn't have a sway bar or a steering rack. So I'm just going to get all of this cleared. Next up, we're going to go take a look at that electric engine, because I don't really play with them very much. So we're going to get that one stripped next. I'll see you in a bit. Atom are completely stripped down to the bare frame. Actually looks pretty weird just on the bare frame, this car, but I quite like it. Anyway, let's go and get that electric engine dismantled, ready to see what's going on with it. Because I don't, as I say, I don't play with these very often. And I don't believe there's much to them. I have played with a couple of them in the past. But I don't think there's much to these engines at all. Once you start getting into them, it all just comes apart before you know it. Now, I don't know what can be repaired with this one, what can be replaced with performance parts. I'm hoping a few bits will be able to be performance parts on this. So I'm going to get this one stripped down. and find all the funky little cool bits we've got going on in here. And then I'll meet you back by the car when we're ready to get that body back on, get it back together, get it over to the paint shop, and decide what colour we're going to make this lovely electric car. I'll see you in a little while. Time to get this lovely frame sorted out on this Tesla, not Tesla, Atom 330. Beautiful car, really lovely, but let's get the frame sorted out so we can get this body back on 1200. That's not too bad. Get this sorted. Lovely sparks coming off everywhere there. Brilliant. Let's get you put away, and I'm going to crack on. I'm going to get all of this body back together. I did manage to save a couple of parts, but nothing too special. Both the wings and the front bumper is all I managed to save. Everything else is brand new. So I'll meet you before we go over to the paint shop in just a moment. See you in a couple. The Atom is all back together. Looking quite lovely. This is standard colour. This is standard cover. And the wing on the other side is standard colour. The rest of it is all the matte black that comes on new parts. Obviously, I've got my Stark Industries Virtual Mechanic EV1 license plates. And on the front, they are pushed to the side. Looking quite smart down there, I think. Not too out of place. Looking pretty cool. The only other thing I have got for this is I do have a bonus part for a lovely spoiler. But I don't know if I want to use it or not. I don't know how I feel about it. It looks quite good, but I don't know if I prefer it with or without. So I'm going to leave it on for the trip to the paint shop. But we may remove it later on. So let's head over to the paint shop. Pick a lovely colour. What colour did you pick for this? Let me know in the comments below. Here it is then in this stunning pearl white with pearl black mirrors and the pearl black spoiler for the moment. I'm going to keep this one black and white. I really quite like it. I'm probably going to go for some black rims, but I may go for some black and white rims, depending on if I can find a pair I like or a set I like to go in there. As far as the suspension goes, probably just going to mostly black it out, may put some white on the springs. We'll see. And, well, I don't know anything about the engine because I very rarely work with these engines, so I don't know what they look like painted. So I'm going to have a play around with that a bit later on and see where we end up. Probably may just black it all out with a few white bits in it. May just do a totally different colour, like a lime green in the engine bay or something like that. We will see. But next up, it's time to get all the suspension back on, ready for this car to be finished. I'll see you in a few minutes back at the lifter. Everything is painted and ready to go back on the car. So let's have a look at these shocks. These are in a pearl red. These are in a standard white. Looking pretty nice on there. The reason I've gone for a bit of red is because there is a little bit of red inside the engine bay. I will show you that as we come to it a bit later on. But basically what I've done in there is all the performance parts are in red. But anyway, onto the suspension. And let's start getting it in the car and have a look at some of the colour combos we've got going on in here. Don't have the batteries to go back in yet, so I won't be doing that yet. But let's have a look how this turns out. Now this, obviously, there's a bit of red on the suspension, but it is mostly black and white, and I think it looks pretty cool. So let's get on and get it all together. Well, it looks pretty cool in the paint shop at least, anyway. But I think it looks pretty good there. So let's get on and get it all together. Get this shock on with a bit of red in there as well. And then we'll get the rest of this finished up so we can see what colours we've got. The brake calipers are just in black. White does not go on them at all. It just looks like a boring grey. And obviously red will go on them, but I didn't want to bring red into the wheel too much. So let's just have a look at these brake calipers. Just in black and white. I really like it. With a bit of red. We'll see about the red. I'm not 100%, but let's see what we've got going on at the rear end, if I can get down there. There we go. Knuckle housings are in black at the back because you can paint them. So let's just go on and get all of this back together. Obviously, same situation as the front. Not that much is going to look different. Just slightly different ways of connecting. So let's just get it all together and then see how it looks when it's all finished. So I'm going to get this done and finished. Obviously, you've seen the brake calipers in the black. They look quite nice, if I'm being honest. So I'm going to get this all finished, and then I'll meet you back at the engine bay when we're ready to get that one sorted. See you in a mo. There's all the suspension looking lovely in mostly red and white, as you can see there, with a few bits of blacks thrown on. Looking pretty sweet, but we have got to get this engine bay sorted out. So I'm going to start throwing all of this together. Now, the only thing I have painted in here is the fuse box, which I realise is a pointless effort because of where it sits. If you know this car, you know that it sits in the frame. Well, not quite in the frame, but underneath the wing, and you can't see it. Realised I forgot the module. Let's get that back on. And then let's throw the fuse box in. It is red. It's not red. It's blue. It was meant to be red. I'm going to have to cancel this and come back because that's not meant to be blue. That's meant to be red. Something is going on weird with the paint shop. So I don't know what that is. I'm going to go change that to red. And then I'll get the rest of this finished off and I'll show you it in just a few minutes. But I'll be back in a minute after we've got that done. I'm going to throw all these batteries in and then we're going to go and build that wonderful engine. So I'll see you in a couple of moments. Fuse box all done. The lid was in red, but for some reason the bottom came out blue. Maybe I just didn't paint it right. I don't know. I can't really remember. I'm sure I painted them both red, but it came out blue. But anyway, now let's get these batteries in. Now these are all the boosted batteries, 2% more power per battery. So I'm just going to find a decent spot where I can sit and not be interrupted. That'll do. And get all of these done. Last one just going in now, and that is all the batteries done. Looking absolutely fantastic. Very dark in colour, and obviously you can't see them through the car. Well, you can see a few little bits. I don't know what that was. No, that was just an indent in the car. Can't see them through the car. They're looking lovely. But next up, we've got to get this engine built. Now, I did say there was some red, white, and black in this engine. The black, unfortunately, you won't see here because it can't go on until after the gearbox is in. But let's have a look at this. Now, most of this centerpiece here is white, apart from the innards, because they can't be painted anyway. And this bit's white. A lot of this is white. It is only the performance parts. So when I'm building it up, if you see red parts, they are red because they are performance. Now, sadly, some of this does have quite a lot of bolts. But I am going to stick around for the whole build of this engine for two reasons. One, I don't normally work on them. And two, it is very, very small. Shy of all these bolts at the very beginning. Once you've got them done, it's pretty much almost done. So I'm going to get this on, and then we can start with some of the performance parts. For example, this charger is a performance part. The power electric control unit is a performance part. All of the cables, well, all of the cables are performance parts as well. And then most of this in here is performance parts, apart from this one piece here, which is not why it is in the white. I realised I painted all of this red to show off performance parts, but you're not going to see any of it because it is all inside this little case that does have a lid. Although the case itself is performance part, the lid is not, so it does not increase the percentage by any means. So it's just in white on the top there, and that is it. That is the finished electric engine. It looks incredible. I like how it looks. I like the reds. Obviously, the gearbox, when it goes on, that will be in red as well. I'm not actually 100% sure it goes. I think it goes here. And all the cowling that I had to take off at the beginning when I moved the engine, that is all in black. So let's get on and let's get this one into the car. I'll meet you over there in just a couple of moments. I've got the engine. It is now time to drop it in the car. Let's have a look how this looks. All 100% complete, but there really isn't that much to that engine. Let's have a look at that. That's looking pretty good in there with the red and the white. Let's see if we can throw a few of the other bits on. Actually, I already know we can't because we have to get the gearbox in first. So let's get the car back in the air. Let's get that gearbox in, and then we'll have a look at all of that. Here we are then, underneath the car. Let's get the gearbox in. Obviously, being in a performance part, it is in red. Just to really accentuate this engine, I might as well get the axles in while I'm here. And then we'll get the rest of the top end of that engine built. It shouldn't take too long at all. So I'll meet you back up there in just a second. At least with the drive axles back on, I know that it is ready for the wheels. It's ready for everything. Just need to top up all the liquids. But let's get these black pieces back on. Now, these are in a pearl black, same as the wing mirrors and the spoiler. But that is literally it. There is nothing else to go on this engine. That engine is now complete. Let's just step back and take a look. Maybe I shouldn't have done them in black. Should I have not done them in black? Well, I tried a white on them and it didn't work. I also tried a red on them and it was very dull. So I am just going to leave it like that. It is a bit boring, a bit plain in there, which is a bit of a shame, but I still like it. Very happy with how that engine turned out. I'm going to get on and get everything topped up, get the wheels back on, and we'll get this car outside finished, ready for you guys to have a wonderful look at it completed. I'll see you outside in just a few moments. Just quickly, while I'm here, I thought I'd show you they've moved the location of the window tint toolkit when you move it. So it's still down in that corner there, but when you move it to the car, it no longer sits at the front because it gets in the way of the engine crane. They've moved it so it comes down here to the side. Just thought I'd let you guys know I'm going to tint the windows and get the wheels done now, and I'll see you outside in just a moment. Here we are then, outside with the finished Atom 330. Absolutely a stunning car, this. I love it. Can't see much from in here, apart from a tiny bit of my suspension poking through, which is a bit of a shame. But let's talk about these rims. I love these rims. They have turned out absolutely stunning, and they look incredible. These are the rim at 27A. They are 21-inch all the way around, and they're also a 35 profile all the way around. But they look incredible. I went for the 27As because they've got this black painted bit in the middle and inside the rim there, and you can only paint the outside. And I think that looks absolutely spectacular in the black and white there. As size for the wheels, they're 195 width at the front and a 245 width at the back, because it's all I could get to fit in with the modifications I made to this config to get it to the right height with the right size engine and everything like that. Speaking of the engine, I'm very proud of this engine. I wish it was a little bit lighter here so a bit more light would shine in, so you could really see the red, white and black on that engine there. Looks incredible. Very, very happy with how this car turned out. It's also got quite nice interior. I did just stick with the original Atom interior and a bog standard steering wheel. Didn't go for anything special on there, but it does look really cool. At this point, I would normally say let's jump in and see what it sounds like. So we're going to do it anyway, but as you know, these electric cars don't make engine noise, but they do this when you start them up, which I quite enjoy. Revving the engine now and nothing happens, no sound comes out because it is quiet. Anyway, let's get it on the dyno and see if we can beat what a Model S Plaid would dyno at. I highly doubt it, but let's give it a shot. I'll see you over there in just a moment. At the dyno, 326 starting horsepower on this. The Model S Plaid is 1020 peak horsepower. How much have we managed to get today from our Atom? Nowhere near close. 315 horsepower gained, 97%. That is absolutely incredible from a 326 starting horsepower. But 640 horsepower compared to the Model S Plaid's 1020. We are nowhere near, which is a shame. Let's head over to the track, though, and see if we can beat the top speed of the Model S Plaid, which is 321 kilometers an hour as it stands at the moment. So let's head over and try and smash that. Here we are then at the track with my modded and slammed Atom 330. Can we beat the Model S Plaid's 321 kilometers an hour? Let's go. Not bad off the line, still a little slow, but we just want to beat 321 kilometers an hour. So let's see where we end up. We are coming up towards the 150 mark. There it is. Just want to beat 321 kilometers an hour. That Model S Plaid is my target. Didn't beat it on the horsepower, not even close. But can we beat it on the top speed? I really am hoping so today. Let's just get to the end of this runway and find out. There's 300, 310, 320. There, we smashed it. I'm so happy with that. Come on, where can we get to? 341 kilometers an hour. That's amazing. Here we are then with the Atom for the final time. 341 kilometers an hour. Beat the Model S Plaid by 20 kilometers an hour. Very, very, very happy with that. Really happy with how this car looks. Absolutely love it. Shame I couldn't get the horsepower up to anywhere near what the Model S Plaid's is listed as. It's 1020, sorry. We only managed to make it up to 640. But we did manage to beat that top speed by 20 kilometers an hour. And that I am very, very happy with. Plus, this car looks amazing. I mean, I don't want to toot my own horn, but I think I've done a great job lowering it. It doesn't touch, it doesn't rub anywhere. I brought the engine up to a nice height. This is the only thing I don't like. I couldn't quite fix this, no matter how hard I tried, but I just couldn't get it right. And the engine without the engine cover on, because of how much it's lowered, the engine sits up in there a lot more, so it shines through the casing that was there. So I had to remove that one. A special thanks to Repost Malone on the Discord servers for helping me figure out how to take that off so that it doesn't appear in the model, and you can get to this stage and still have it 100% complete, which is what I wanted. So very happy with that. Thank you to Repost Malone for that one. But let's get into some facts and figures about this car. Now, I spent a lot on this car. I bought it for $70,455 from the auction house. And today I spent 66,557 modifying and upgrading this car, plus painting it and everything else to it today, pitting our total spend at 137,012 credits on this one. Not too bad, but let's have a look how much we can sell this lovely slammed Atom 330, however you want to say that name, for, with its new 640 horsepower, 47% tuning on that one. 195,504 is our sale price. That's actually pretty good. I was a bit worried that we were going to be under profit on this one. Take away our 137,000 that we spent today, puts our profit at 58,492, which I am definitely very, very happy with. It is time to say goodbye to this Atom 330 though. As much as I love it and I would love to keep it, I'm definitely going to do another one that I can keep myself, but I am going to sell this one today. So it is time to say goodbye. See you later, my Model S Plaid arrival. It's been a lot of fun. But up next, we have the Nissan Skyline R31. This is an absolute beast. This has been modded into the game by Fully Sick. I don't know how fully how to say that name. I apologize if I butchered it. Not the first car of yours I've done, though. So this is what we're going to be working on next time. I don't think there are any engine swap options. No, just the i4 double overhead cam. Something I can maybe play around with later on. This is the track edition. 247,000 kilometers, and I bought it from the auction where I got only a little bit ripped off, which is definitely very, very good. So we're going to have a lot of fun with this next time. There are a lot of options for the Skyline. I will just very quickly show you in here. Go into the Skyline. Engine covers, bumpers, front ends, wings, bonnets, windows, lights, you name it. There are a lot of options on this car. Even tail lights, which looks more like exhausts. But a lot of options, so I'm going to have a lot of fun playing around with this one. I hope you all had a fantastic weekend and have enjoyed your Monday. Fresh week, fresh start. Thank you all so much for watching. As always, I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.